What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So, as you man can see on your screen right now, your Donny, Dillian White, has half reacted to the Wilder versus Tyson Fury fight. Essentially, he's reposted, and people don't realise this, social media is obviously social media. And everyone can see when you repost. So when someone reposts something, as far as I'm concerned, that is as good as the person saying it themselves. Yeah, no doubt. Dillian White has retweeted these words: "Not sure about the best heavyweight fight ever, and if AJ fights how he used to, he beats both of these. At Dillian White would also beat them, my opinion." So the first comment here, Dillian White is co-signing, is the fact that not sure about the best heavyweight fight ever. Now, I'm not a historian, I've never alleged to be, but in my lifetime, I really did some thinking. What fights? Let's not worry about all time, because really all time, no one's seen every single fight, and even if you have, you're a know-it-all, yeah? You're a know-it-all wannabe looking at us. So be honest with yourself. I'm nearly 30 years old, but really, never mind, we'll call it 30 years. No, call it 20 years. In the last 20 years, what fights have been better than that? Oops. Which ones? Because it's all really good saying, oh, it's not the best fight ever. Let's not worry about the best fight for now. Let's worry about the last 20 years. Because that's good enough, in my mind. In the last 20 years, what heavyweight fights have been better? Oops. I heard one goofy. Who was it? It might have been Tunde, actually. Tunde's got Tunde and Spencer Fearon have got a podcast. Go and check that out. It's called Stamina for Sale. Anyway, Tunde's goofy looking ass. Tunde was saying, AJ and Klitschko, that was leagues above or something like that. AJ and Klitschko sucked. Yeah, the first 4 rounds, both men, backside were twitching. Yeah, AJ goes for it in the 5th round, fair play. Then he's gassed for about 4 rounds. So it wasn't like that at all. Yeah, not even a bit close. I think the fact that it was in the UK and it was UK fans and it was all that environment, the atmosphere may have been better, 100%, I'm not going to lie. Was the Wembley atmosphere better than last night? Probably, but who cares? Not me. I'm not there to watch atmosphere, I'm there to watch Dons get stuck in. And as far as stuck in goes, Wilder and Fury is the best fight. Because like I said, who knows about history? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know about history. What I do know is, in the last 20 years, there ain't been a heavyweight fight like it. Call it 21 years. Since the break... In fact, since the break of the century. Since 2000, there hasn't been a heavyweight fight better than this. This is so far the fight of the century. Bottom line. Now, do I believe there could be, in the future, fights better than this? Yeah, there could be. The same way, if my nan had a schlong, it'd be my granddad. Yeah, it could. I believe AJ could put on a better fight. If that makes sense. I believe if AJ had the heart of Wilder, that would be a better fight. If that makes sense. I believe AJ with Wilder's heart would put on a better fight with Fury, because AJ's got more tools. But unfortunately, what he doesn't have, he may have more hooks and uppercuts and a similar level of gas tank, because what we do know is Wilder is as gassed as AJ gets, more or less. But the difference is, AJ don't have the heart. Bottom line, hate to break it, is a fact, he don't. Before this fight, before Wilder and Fury fought, yeah, I said to you, man, tonight we're going to find out if Wilder is serious. We're going to find out potentially if Fury is serious. And we found out both are serious. I said we're going to find out if both men do or don't have the greatness attribute, the balls attribute. And we found out they've got balls, they've got greatness. They've got it. Yeah? Unfortunately, AJ, people love to talk about, like Tunde was talking about 2017. That was 4 years ago. I'm sorry. Now, I'm not someone who says, you're only as good as your last fight. No, not your last fight, but your last couple fights you are. Well, otherwise, what are we doing? You can't base someone's career on what I did 6 years ago. YB, but if AJ had a fanny, he'd be Antonia. Yeah? Well, you know what I'm saying? One of them ones. Yeah? Don't work like that, unfortunately. Not in my world anyway. I'm a realist. And this Don here's getting caught up in it. And to be honest with you, I can empathise with how this Donny here is getting caught up in it all, because I was there myself. It's Donny here saying, oh, and if AJ fights how he used to, he beats both. Yeah, listen, like I told you before, if AJ had a fanny, he'd be known as, or she'd be known as, Antonia. Yeah? We can all sit there and play ifs. I'm sick of playing ifs with AJ. I ain't playing no more ifs. If AJ was with Shane, if AJ had a fanny, if AJ did this, I'm not doing no more. I'm sick of it. I don't have to do it. Yeah? Because he's rich, he's got loads of money, he wants to ride a gravy train, good for him. What we're not going to do, whilst my man's riding the gravy train and getting turned over by cruiserweights, I don't have to sit there and shill for him. Oh, but YB, I'm not doing no more ifs. Yeah? He ain't doing it. He loves McCrappen. He loves having no skills. He loves folding. He loves not turning up. He loves having no balls. So leave him to it. Until he shows me something different, I'm off the train. I'm not doing it no more. Yeah? Because I don't get paid to do this. I don't get paid to shill. I don't get paid I don't get paid, yeah, to rate someone for nothing and get nothing back. All we ask is for a little bit. We didn't get nothing. That's what we got. In the last few, it's not just one fight, by the way. Again, if this was a one-off, yeah, well, YB, he's been giving us all he's got, and it's just a bad one-off. No, it's not a bad one-off. I've been calling this. The Ruiz rematch sucked. Even the first Ruiz fight, AJ was, his back end was twitching in the first Ruiz fight. It was, from the jump. That's why he panicked and started going crazy and being sloppy, because he was panicking. Yeah? So don't give me that. The first Ruiz fight, second Ruiz fight, Pulev fight, and now Usyk. The last 4 fights have sucked. No balls, no confidence, no oomph. Just soft looking. So no, I'm afraid to say, people, and if I can't say that. And if AJ fights how, I'm not going to do it. But before I tell you, yeah, AJ would turn Wilder over, he'd turn Fury over. I can't do it no more. Not after them two men. Not after Fury and AJ. Not after Fury and Wilder went out there and did it, yeah? There's doers and there's talkers. There's doers and there's theorisers. For too long, people, myself included, have been theorising about AJ. Can't work no more. Not when men like Fury and Wilder put their lives on the line. For me to sit here and talk about what AJ could do when there's man out there doing it, that's not fair. It's not fair. Wilder potentially not 10 years off his life, and you want me to sit here and talk about, but AJ could. No, I'm not gonna, that's not gonna, it don't work like that. Let AJ go in there and put on that kind of performance, then we can get back to talking. Because what I think's going on is, there's too many people around AJ who want to tickle his backside. Not me. No tickling. No tickling going on here. That man can gas him up. Oh, what, AJ, you're a boxer. Yeah, you're a great boxer. Yeah, keep doing that. Yeah. We're going to prove the world wrong that you can box with the best of them. Yeah. What? Crazy thing, check this out. AJ today posted a picture. This was after the fight, by the way. After Fury and Wilder fought, AJ posted a picture of him playing chess with one of his goofy mates. Wow. I thought, is that what you got to say? And that really does sum up who AJ is. Just moist. Yeah? The fight of the century has just happened, and you're posting a picture playing chess. It's almost like he thinks he's really deep. Oh yeah, well, yeah, them man are showing greatness, but I'm playing chess. Wow, you soft. You need to retire. That's what you need to do. Yeah, retire and just get out of the way, and let people who want to turn up. Because you ain't serious. Playing chess looking ass. What do you think this is? This ain't Countdown. Yeah, it's heavyweight boxing. This is greatness on the line, and you're playing chess. What? What you should have done is come out and said, you know what, people, I've been listening to the YB and he's right. I don't know what's got into me the last few years. Yeah, I think Rob McCrappen's been weighing on me. I think I'm too soft. So what I've done is I've sacked all the soft dons off. I've got in the YB's DMs. I've got in Shane Wiggins' DMs. And it's one of them ones. Yeah, we're going to sort this out, don't worry. Soon come. Not posting no goofy chess picture. That's what you don't want to be doing. That's what you don't need to be doing. We already knew, AJ, we already saw the video of you and Johnny Nelson playing chess. How'd that work out for you when you got your wig pushed back? Oops. You don't need, the last thing you need yet is more chess with moist dons. That's the last thing you need right now. It's some more chess, some more moistness. What's wrong with you? Anyway, where was I? Yeah, this Don here. Not sure about the best heavyweight fight ever. Well, listen, let's put it this way. Rather than say what it's not, yeah? Rather than say what it's not, tell me what is better then. Because everyone's good at saying, it's not the best. Well, what is better then? Because like I told you, I'm not a historian, but I'm pretty well versed on the last 21 years. And in the last 21 years, there ain't nothing come close to it. I mean, you've got Lennox versus Tyson. You're having a laugh. That could have been, again. It's the thing. I believe AJ is going to end up like Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson fans, myself included, would say things like, if Mike had cussed, and if... I'm not doing that. Because other fighters really did it. If that makes sense. Lennox didn't need cuss there. Lennox really did it. He went in there, bettered himself, and went in there and did it. No ifs. Holyfield, yeah, he was probably juiced out of his mind, but he still did it. There's real dons doing real things, so we don't need to talk about ifs and buts and theories. Whilst don't get me wrong, for the last few years, I've had no problem playing theory. Why? Because no one was doing much. Wilder and Fury were both really fanning around, truth be told. But now we know we've got serious people in there. We have to get serious now. We can't do no more game talking. Fury and Wilder have set pace with that fight. They've showed everyone how it's done. And AJ, like I said yesterday, should be embarrassed of himself. He should watch that, not post no picture of playing chess. He should watch that and think, wow, I've been humbled here. Them man have set, you know what I mean? Them man have showed how it needs to go down. Not playing no games. Wilder came out. Wilder had every excuse for his back end to be twitching, the same way AJ's back end twitched for the whole way through the Ruiz fight. Did Wilder's back end twitch even a bit? No, came straight out. Swinging to the very end. No twitching. And he got put down loads of times. No twitch. Some people have got it, others ain't. So far, AJ has not proven he's got it. He's proven his back end can twitch. That's it. That's the only thing. Call me a liar. The only thing I'm confident that AJ can do is back end twitch. That's it. If I told you anything different, I'll be lying to you. Yeah. If I could sit here and tell you, if I sat here and told you, that I'm confident AJ can tear it up, you're lying to yourself. Because the only thing anyone can be confident about AJ is that he'll twitch, and his back end will go, and he'll get shook. Because guess what? Every single fight, the Ruiz rematch, he got hit once. His back end was twitching. The Usyk fight, he got hit once. His back end twitching. Pulev fight, his back end twitching. He wasn't even getting hit, but his back end was twitching. So, anyone who tells you any different is a fangirl of AJ's. And the last thing, and it's the thing, in 2021, fangirls is how we got into this point, if that makes sense. If people were real, I mean, even back in the 80s, fangirlism is a relatively new concept, if that makes sense. Groupies, back in the 80s and 90s, groupies would be around, but they'd be in the clubs. They wouldn't be filled full of in the teams, if that makes sense. Think about Nigel Benn and Chris Eubank and them, man. Yeah, I'm sure they've had loads of groupies over their careers, men and women, but what I'm saying is, their teams weren't full of gas man who just want to stay there licking their backside, was they? Like, is it Ronnie Shields? That's who Eubank had. Real people in the camps. And over the years, Ronnie Shields became a bit moist, but he's old now. In their times, they had real people around them. These days, everyone, Eddie Hearn included, sidemen. No one stands up and says, you know what, we need to do something here. Everyone just sits there rubbing off. Rubbing the guy off, bottom line. Rubbing AJ off, for example. So no, I'm afraid to break it to you, this was the best heavyweight fight ever. For our purposes, it was the best. Because even I'm struggling. You man tell me. Because I'm not even going to go back before the 90s. Because who cares if it was before then? Anyway, if it's before the 90s, who cares? And even in the 90s, I'm trying to think, what is there in the 90s? Because whenever Mike got in a fight, he rolled over. Yeah? Whenever Mike was in a decent fight, he rolled over. And couldn't win, and couldn't find a way to win. So that ain't really that cool. And even then, Mike, I'm not impressed with Mike, to be honest with you. He had all the talent, but he didn't really go. He didn't really want to go to that place so much. He'd just kind of give up. He gave up against Lennox Lewis. He didn't go to the end, did he? He just sat there, felt sorry for himself. So no, we can't do that with Mike. And to be honest with you, the other issue I've got is the fact that even though, think about Lennox and Holyfield. When they fought, can you say they had that knockout? The way that Fury's known as a strategician. Is that the word? I'm not sure, but listen, Fury's known as especially early in his career. You man know, I've been slagging Fury off for years about he runs around and whatnot. Ever since he got rid of Kronk though, his style's changed. But my point is, Fury is known as a very tactical, skilled guy. But did you see last night how, to a fault, he could have won this fight a lot easier and a lot quicker just by jabbing Wilder's nut off and then putting the right hand on the end. That would have been strategic. Fury didn't have no strategic. Well, had compared to his career, he had very little strategic tonight. The feints, for example, the feints combined with the offense would have opened Wilder up even more. But he had less feints, he had less jab. He was just going for it. And it showed. Now the reason I bring that up is to say that, think about Holyfield and Lennox. Two of the greats, fair, but look at their fights. Were they... And by the way, it wasn't just Fury going for it. We had Wilder. He was going for it with every shot as well. Watch Holyfield and Lewis. I think all their fights went to decision, didn't they? Now, fair enough. You can sit there and argue, well, they've both got great chins. Or Holyfield, yeah, but they've all been down in their career. They've all been knocked out in their career. So, what I'm saying is, Lennox and Holyfield didn't have no better chins than Fury and Wilder, really, when you work it out. It's here or there. My point is, them two men, Wilder and AJ, were in there, and they were throwing with every shot, with bad intentions. The same can't be said for Lennox and Holyfield. Lennox was happy just to kind of box to a decision win, and I think even when Holyfield got the gift decision, it was still a points win. Them two men went in there, rock hard for the KO. So I'm sorry, people. Even what heavyweight fights are we talking about here? If in the last 30 years it's not Fury and Wilder, certainly in the mix. What is in the mix? Oops. I can't think of none. Especially at this level as well. It's all well and good. Oh well, it's all well and good the lower down guys, but we've got at the champion level these kind of fights going on. Why is that important? Well, I've talked about the concept of the champion's curse, where fighters often get a championship belt and their butt starts twitching. AJ style, John Jones style. Oh, better not get hit. Oh, better protect the belt. Rather than, and actually I have to give Fury even more credit today, because that's something that Fury threw caution to the wind about. Because Fury could have said, I've got a belt, let me do what AJ does and just try and keep the belt. The way Fury fought tonight was almost like he was a challenger. Fury fought almost like he was a lottery winner, like he was just going for the lottery. You wouldn't even notice that he had a kind of a belt to defend, if that makes sense. He didn't fight like he had something to defend. He fought like, you know what I'm saying? He fought like he fought like he was hungry. He wasn't defending the belt, was he? Fury could have easily come out. In fact, I think someone told me that, oh yeah, there's no way Fury's going to go in there and stick it on Wilder because it doesn't make sense. He can just box to a victory. He could have, but he didn't do that. So I'll give credit to the Kronk. I give credit to Fury's mentality, because he could have easily come out and just fannied around and pulled off a Ben Davidson 2.0. He didn't. He came straight out on it. That takes something when you're already a champion to have that to fight with that contender mentality. That was contender.com. Yeah. We very rarely see that from champions, even in the UFC. Most champions get the belt and the back end goes, and all of a sudden they can't knock no one out. John Jones was knocking everyone out. All of a sudden, he can't knock no one out for nothing. So yeah, that's the thing, you see. Fury really could be a lot greater if he starts making title defenses and is able to sustain this kind of ferociousness, this kind of Kronk style. He's going to zoom up the leaderboard for one of the greats ever. Because that there's a quality that very few of the greats have. The ability to go in there and just be rock hard for it every time. We've already, again, and the worst thing is, yeah, people like AJ who should be that guy in as much as he's got better combinations. But yeah, you got Fury, who isn't really necessarily designed for that kind of work, the hooks and the uppercuts, but he making the best of it, if that makes sense. And you got AJ on the other hand, cacked his pants and want to run around. Isn't it amazing? The man who's made to be aggressive cacks his pants, and the man who isn't, rock hard for it. It's amazing. It's ironic. But that is what we're witnessing. That is what we are witnessing right now. Bottom line. Yeah? Fury got no excuse, yeah, to be marching forward, but he marching forward, and he rock hard for it. He had every excuse to run around, he rock hard for it. So I salute him even more. And on this note of AJ beats, AJ don't beat neither of them two. I'm telling you now. At this point in time, AJ would not beat neither of them two. Too much heart. Yeah? And the first shot that Fury would stop AJ right now. This, if that AJ who fought Usyk, Fury would have smoked him. The Wilder fight, Wilder probably would have smoked him as well. Because if AJ was dancing around doing a stanky leg from a pop from Usyk, yeah, he throws arm punches. There's nothing in Usyk's punches. He throws short, sharp ones that pop you. And even them, they had AJ doing all kind of dances. So if Wilder had landed anything, AJ would be spark out probably, truth be known. Or he'd have been put down for sure. And then his back end would have been going all the way. And he'd have been shook to death. And he'd have ran around for the rest of the night. So Wilder would have won. Kind of thing. Or AJ would have boxed to a 12-round boring ass decision. Because for me, yeah, there's no way that AJ who fought Usyk could have stopped Wilder. Because guess what? That AJ couldn't stop Usyk. Oops. And Wilder had too much heart. So even if AJ put Wilder down, he getting back up. And I don't believe AJ going to go for it like that. So that is what it is. And until he proves me different, that's going to be the bottom line from now on. I don't hear nothing about it either. If you disagree, show me something. Don't talk. Don't do ifs. Don't do theory. Show me. Oops. You can't show me nothing. Now, this guy also says Dillian White would also beat them. I hate to break it to you, man. I think Fury... There was a time I thought Dillian White would beat Fury, but not now. I'm sorry. Too much Kronk. Yeah, unfortunately, Fury got too much Kronk on him. And Dillian... Yeah, I just don't see it for Dillian. Now, Dillian's got a hard task with Otto Wallin. Otto Wallin apparently is pretty good, so I'm hearing people saying that they're going to be surprised if Dillian gets past Wallin. So let's see what happens there. But in my mind, I've already told you, if Dillian gets beat by Wallin, I'm not going to complain, WBC robbed him. Because guess what? If Dillian White gets beat by Wallin, he weren't going to do nothing with Fury, was he? Let's be real now. He weren't going to do nothing with Fury. So it don't really matter. Yeah? Fury, too big, too strong. Yeah, can Dillian put Fury down? Maybe. He getting back up. And we know, if a shot Povetkin can put Dillian down, Fury can too. I'd have thought. The Wilder fight, Dillian versus Wilder, that would be interesting. That's more interesting to me than the Fury fight. I think Fury is just too, yeah. Fury would just be too much. But the Dillian versus Wilder fight, that's interesting. That would be interesting. But I do hope we get that fight. Because there's no reason that fight can't be done. Now, especially. Wilder's been beat twice. I think Dillian should fight Fury, yeah. When he loses to Fury, then it'll be almost like the battle of the losers. But it'll be a great battle on UK pay-per-view. Wilder, for the first time fighting the UK, come over to the UK, sell out Wembley or the O2 or something, and do that Dillian versus Wilder. That's a fight. Must happen. Because there's no reason it shouldn't happen after Dillian's got beat by Fury. Yeah, I don't see what Dillian can do to Fury. He don't have the combinations. Someone who beats Fury, you're gonna need an AJ, who's on it. Not this one, not this one. But you're gonna need someone like that. Dillian don't put the combinations together to outwork him. Bottom line, I don't see it myself. Who knows? Or maybe Dillian gonna pull out of the bag, but I think the attributes, Fury's too long as well. Dillian's like 6'4", and Fury's 6'9". It's just too much. So, you heard the comments there from Dillian.